Really? This is 2 weeks in a row now. Any particular team can have a great day, be completely on, and facing an opponent that just had an off day. And this can result. This is 2 weeks in a row, though. Ohio State 56, Michigan State 7. And even the final score, inconsequential as the Buckeyes just mailed it in the second half. 49-0 at halftime. Is Michigan State one of the 7 best teams in America? I don't know if they're quite that good, but they're in that range. They're a darn good football team, and nobody's done anything close to that against them this year. And the team that Michigan State lost to, of course, was the same team that Ohio State faced last weekend, a hot Purdue team that beat 2 top 5 teams at the time of the kickoff. Nobody's done anything close to that to Purdue. And look at the Buckeyes' performance against that Boilers defense. 59 last week, and it could have been much more. 56 this week, it could have been much, much more. The Buckeyes rolling. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every week, and we're down to crunch time. 2 weekends left, and we saw an Ohio State team rolling. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media, subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. Do your holiday shopping as you always do, I'm sure, on Amazon. Most of you use the link in the description section that we provide to help us build the channel. Wow, Buckeyes win at 56-7. Where do I start? Let's go back to my notes, because at each broadcast window, I take notes on that particular, not just the Buckeyes-Spartans game, but the noon Eastern time window. And this was my primary game to watch, at least for the first half it was. Not even, I was really stretching it, giving Michigan State any kind of life at 28-0, 35-0, 42-0 as it went. But the first note I put down on this game, Ohio State's primary kickoff returner, Emeka Egbuka, was missing from the game. Therefore, there was a muffed kickoff on the opening kickoff, and maybe Egbuka would be missed because we had a muffed kickoff, and the Buckeyes started at the 14-yard line on the first drive. Well, they wouldn't get any other kickoffs past that mattered. Anyway, second note, Garrett Wilson dropped a pass. Could have had a 7 or 8 yard gain. Just flat out trying to get his feet in bounds. Just dropped the ball. Awful. That was my second note. And then from there, it went. Did you see the catch that Chris Olave made? Well, he made so many great catches, but the great, outstanding Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch at the pylon to get in bounds. It was a great pass by C.J. Stroud, considering he was running away from the rush. But Olave was remarkable on this one, and it was fitting that he made that kind of catch on a day in which he surpassed David Boston's all-time Ohio State receiving touchdown record with 35. Garrett Wilson had a 77-yarder in which he just burned the corner Kimbrough, and Xavier Henderson was caught peeking into the backfield, and Ohio State was off to the races. 77 yards for that one. Michigan State got one drive going that ended with one of the worst replay reviews I've ever seen, but then they missed the field goal. It didn't much matter. Ohio State should have gotten the football at the 20-yard line, but Michigan State got it going there at about 28-0 at that point. 21-0, actually. It was still kind of a game. That was the last break that Sparty needed right there to stay in the game. Oh, my goodness. This was just a butt-kicking across the board. I don't know where to begin. C.J. Stroud throwing against air. I don't know if the ball hits the ground more times than this. 32 of 35 on the day, 6 touchdown passes. And again, C.J. Stroud, many detractors out there early in the season. I stated repeatedly, calm down. Let the guy play a little football. Let him get some reps. He had to face a decent Minnesota, a really good defense out of Minnesota in week number 1. And then a really good Oregon defense, one of the top 15 defenses in America in week 2. And then obviously following the Oregon loss and then looking poorly against Tulsa. I had so many people saying Ohio State's going to lose 2, 3, 4 games. This team's not good. I said, you know what? There's a possibility that you're right. But you know what? I'm going to trust Ryan Day. I'm going to trust the coaching staff. I'm going to trust the talent. And this team's still going to go 11-1 and go to a Big Ten championship game. That's what I said after the Oregon and Tulsa games. Good signs for the Buckeyes going into the game against Michigan. TreVeyon Henderson only had to carry it 9 times. So there was also thought here that even though Ohio State should beat Michigan State, that Michigan would have the easier game. We shall see. They're playing right now at Maryland and be able to rest up for the game in Ann Arbor next weekend, while the Buckeyes could be in for a 4-quarter game against Sparty. But TreVeyon Henderson, 9 for 68, and then out of the game. You would have given me these numbers before the game. I would have thought, okay, yeah, it could be ugly. That Master Teague had 21 carries. Unless somebody got hurt, Master Teague, 21 carries, almost 100 yards for the Buckeyes as he got the work in the second half. And that Kenneth Walker only saw the ball 6 times. 6 times for 25 yards. That was another statement and discussion we had earlier this week that if we could see Kenneth Walker III's line box score statistics prior to the game, then we could get a good read on this one. And 6 carries for 25 yards tells the story. Completely out of the game so early because he gained some yardage. He had a couple nice runs, nothing that terrorized the defense by any stretch. The Ohio State offensive line is rounding into form. They had some shuffling up front in which they were having tackles play guard position and wanted to get their best players up front, but still had to play some guys out of position there. And we're struggling between, okay, best players versus best fit up front. I think they got it. CJ Stroud, we know he's really good, but I make this comment all the time. He doesn't really have to make difficult throws. And that's not taking anything away from him. He makes the throws that he needs to make. But the big 3, let's call them the big 3, earth, wind, and fire, they said today, as Herb Street had the conversation with them, and it was thrown out by somebody to maybe coin the phrase earth, wind, and fire for Olave, Wilson, and Smith-Njigba. They all had 100 yards plus. And, of course, they took the second half off, basically 5 touchdowns. And if they're covered on a particular play, then they're making a remarkable catch or move to gain last-second separation or make the remarkable catch, or they're just Garrett Wilson in particular, week to week to week to week, just burns his guys and he's wide open. 21-point favorite against Purdue. Blew them out, beat them by 28. Could have been 35 at the end of the game. Michigan State, 19.5-point favorite against the number 7 team in the land. Beat them by 49. Could have been a million. Wow. All right. That's what we've got on this one. You know us. We will have Ohio State, Michigan coverage all over the place. Huge, big this week, leading up to the game. Ohio State, Michigan, our Buckeyes show coming up this week. As always, lock it in. Should be Wednesday, 1:30 Eastern time on the Ohio State channel. Our live show, our Michigan show live, Wolverines live, Wednesday at 5 Eastern on the Michigan channel as well. Please join us then. What a game. What a performance, I should say, by Ohio State. Mel Tucker and Michigan State still a fine season at this point at 9-2. They close out against Penn State, trying to, of course, get to a New Year's Six bowl game. That's still in sight, but it's going to come down to this one, Ohio State and Michigan for the Big Ten Eastern Division Championship. And again, please like the video, share the videos out on social media, and subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football.